Hey guys, it has been a 6 week journey. Have you been with me the whole time? And what do you think? Have you made some progress? Have you made some distinctions? Have you watched each and every one of the training videos? You know, time keeps moving so quickly. So, did you do them every single week? Did you build upon each training and use it with the new training to create momentum? And if you did, that's awesome. If you didn't, go back to number one and start and do it. You know, you can't just come to week 6 here and go, okay, I'm going to get the summary and just, learn something new. It is about building that momentum up little by little and getting to the destination that you never think you could have gotten to before. And don't forget alkaline water, guys. So on that note, there's a lot of tools, a lot of motivation in here. And ask anyone who has followed through with some of this coaching and training if it makes a huge difference. You know, each and every week, each and every day, you make a tiny difference, a tiny distinction, a bigger distinction, bigger distinction, bigger, 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 bigger. Next thing you know, you've shifted your entire destination. So this is what we're after, guys. We are after absolute momentum and a destination for you that is amazing. And don't forget here, it's not only about the destination, it's about this journey that we go through to get there. Who are you becoming as a person? How has that changed you? How have you affected the people around you? How have you affected the world? These are the things that you look and go, unbelievable transformation can occur just from taking a few key decisions and building momentum and going and going. All right, let's review the last 6 weeks so that we can kind of ball it all up, put it together, put it in action, keep it in action wherever you're at. If you haven't really taken action, now's the time to go back. You could literally do this entire 6 week series in one day. Just shut off from the outside world and just run through it like a madman or mad lady. Or you could do it day by day, week by week, but if you're not up to week 6 with me here, go back and power do it. Get up to speed because we're going to shift gears in the whole H1 program. We're going to do a lot of really great things between now and the end of 2019 that are going to blow you away as far as self-learning and self-coaching. So I encourage you, learn this stuff, use this stuff. I'm not teaching this to say, ooh, look at me, look at what I can do, look at what I know. I'm teaching this so that you grab onto some tools and start growing. And yes, we're not charging for these series. But yes, we have things that we do charge and, keeps the business going, keeps us able to do this. And that is a wish of mine. I want you to come coach with me. I want you to book that coaching session with me, whether it's in person, whether it's over the internet, on the phone, however we need to do it. I want you to use our services that we charge for too, but I want you to have things of value that are getting you progress in life. Because if you're progressing there, you're going to want more. That's automatically going to come. That's going to help us because obviously we do have to keep the side of the business going that funds the ability to do this. It does cost. It costs time. It does cost bandwidth. It costs all that fun stuff. But right now, I want to focus on you. Let's talk about the last 6 weeks. So week 1, okay, in contrast, where were you then? Implementing nothing that we were taught, or you may have been already doing some of the things, but figure if you started out, nothing we've taught in the last 6 weeks were you doing. Where are you now compared to 6 weeks ago? Is there a noticeable change? Did you really follow through? If there's a noticeable change, I'll guarantee on this side of the scale you followed through. If there's no noticeable change, I guarantee you didn't follow through with any of it. Go back and follow through. You can't tell me it doesn't work if you don't do it. If you just sat here and passively listened and you did not implement any of our training, you have not gotten any momentum. You might have made a couple distinctions, and maybe there was 1 or 2 distinctions, and that turned it all around. That is very possible because there are some times you're on track in so many areas, and you go, yeah, coach, I know this, I'm doing this, make one little change, and a shift over term takes that out. A big difference. a little 10% shift turns into a 100% shift after 10 months. That can be some big change. So we did that, right? We went over basic nutrition, basic exercise rules. Go review that stuff. There are some basics that, we talked about the lectin-rich foods, which Dr. Gundry has really brought to light with our research over the past few years. It's not don't eat vegetables, because that's what some people take away. Oh, Gundry and Lew say don't eat vegetables. No, avoid the high lectin nightshades. Eliminate your tomatoes, your eggplants, your wheat, stuff like that, corn, and you're miles ahead. Sure, there's going to be sometimes you zag out a little bit. You might have corn on the cob at a cookout or something. It doesn't ruin the whole year for you. But if you're, so many people are, oh, my kid only likes cream corn, that's all he or she'll eat. You're poisoning them. Maybe not, where they're going to walk away from the table and go thud, but you're damaging their little immune systems and stuff like that. So simply put, there are some basic rules. Same thing with exercise. Number one exercise rule is do it. You've got to do some form of exercise. Now, I have trained people that are in a wheelchair, okay? They're in that bad a situation. And people would say, I'm in a wheelchair and I'm 70 years old. What the hell am I going to do for training? Well, I have personally witnessed and trained somebody who is in a wheelchair and couldn't even hold their head up to look up, and everybody's kind of waiting to say goodbye shortly, to somebody that could get up and walk across the room. That's huge. You and I might go get up and walk across the room. That's an everyday occurrence. I get up and walk from my office to the coffee machine and back, and I'm okay. But there was a huge difference for this gentleman, and it was a moment of total celebration. But it was more than that. It wasn't just walking across the room and back. It was the overall being, what it did for his cognizance level and so forth, and did for the folks around him, including his wife, who loved him dearly, who had, an uptick in the quality of a relationship again because of that. Now, you might be in a different stage. You might be going, I want to do one of those OCR races, coach, and I'm 100 pounds overweight. Bam! Maybe for you, getting to run a quarter mile is a big milestone. But you know what? Next month you might do a mile or half a mile without stopping. The next month it might be a mile. And next thing you know, you're able to complete that OCR. So it's all at different stages and different goals and different needs, but a lot of the rules apply. Number one exercise rule is get off your ass and do something at the level you're at and do it safely. So on that note, keep in mind that anything I tell you today is the opinion of the author, producer, etc. here, which would be me, okay, and my team. We are not giving medical advice. Please don't construe this as medical advice. Please always check with your healthcare practitioner prior to starting any exercise, dietary, or self-help program. And the FDA has not evaluated any statements we will make here today. Okay, that's out of the way. Got to say that each and every time. You guys are probably going to get sick of hearing it, but we got to let you know. I'm not coming to you to say I'm going to heal you from a disease, or I'm going to you're going to take this old magic pill and cure XYZ. What I'm going to do is open up the doors for you to take a lot more responsibility for your fitness, your eating habits, your health care, your stress management, etc. All right, so we did it. We had some basic nutrition rules, some basic exercise rules. Why didn't I give you a diet and say, here's Coach Lew's diet of the month. Let's do this. Let's keto, beto, dito, and Atkins, paleo, waleo. Because each one of those had something good to them, but each one of them focuses on one thing. And I'm going to pick on the vegan diet real quick here. So my vegan friends, remember, I love you. But there's one criteria for a vegan diet: non-animal product. Okay? Doesn't mean that sugar is an animal product, so it must be okay. Now, I'm not saying, I know a lot of my friends out there that are vegan and you don't eat like that, going, Lew, come on, I don't eat processed sugars, I don't eat, all this garbage that goes along with it, and the wheat products, etc. My heart goes out and kudos to you. I know. I'm talking about just if you, go by the basic rules, there's a rule there, just no animal products. and that makes it okay. Well, it doesn't make it okay, because there's products that are non-animal products that are not good for you as well. Same thing with the vegetarian diet. Okay, just because it's vegetarian, it's a vegetable or fruit, it must be good for you. Not totally accurate. Much better than the Atkins diet, where he's telling you, chow down a pound of bacon and suck down hamburgers without buns and etc. He was right on key with the no buns. That was a plus, and the low sugar. But, let's face it, Doc Atkins died of a heart attack. Might not have been a great thing. Now, another thing with that, too, is his book did go on beyond the induction diet. And if any of you did it, I did his diet at one point. It sounded good. Lost a bunch of weight initially. But if any of us actually read past the first chapter, we also realized that it went into a more balanced, vegetable-rich diet after the induction diet. But most people stayed on the induction diet and shoveled down a bunch of bacon, ham, this, that, and the other, and wondered why they stunk. And, after they got off the diet, and went right back and blew up even more. So the basics are there. Flexitarian eating. Find out what works best with your body. I can tell you how awesome almonds are, and almond flour is a great replacement for wheat products, and how much better they're going to digest and what they're not going to do to your digestive system and your immune system. And wow, and that's great. And if you look at me and say I'm deathly allergic to waffles, and I have almonds, and I get anaphylaxia from it, well, then it's not a better choice. So you see where there is no set totally in stone on some of this stuff. There's some basic rules, but also I can't tell you that you must eat almonds if you want to be healthy, because you may be deathly allergic to them. This is why I don't give you a diet or put you on a diet. Plus the first three letters are D-I-E with a little T. You'll see I spell it like that, because most diets feel like you want to fucking die. Okay, so seriously. Now, please don't take any offense by my use of language once in a while. It's not to be cool, kid, or, to be a jerk or to be ignorant. My use of language is to drive certain things home, catch your attention. Sometimes if I tell you, well, it would be nice if, or if I tell you, get off your ass and do it, the second one wakes you up. Doesn't mean I'm being mean or a drill sergeant. It means I'm catching your attention rather than, well, you really oughta. Because you really oughta isn't going to accomplish anything. Make it a must. So this is why I'm a little dramatic sometimes, and why I use language sometimes that makes you go, whoa! I don't expect that out of a coach. Well, if your coach sugarcoats and pussyfoots around, get a new coach. You need somebody who's going to call it like it is, but do it for a reason, from the heart. I don't do it just to show you, hey, I can swear and get away from it because I'm an adult now. That would be assuming I pretend to be an adult now. No, seriously. So going into week 2, we went into fasting. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the beauty of fasting. My God, I'm thirsty. I apologize for all the water breaks here, guys. I did a major run today out in the woods, and it was really hot. Florida's been very, 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 very hot, so I lost a lot of water. So I am making up my hydration level there. So fasting, the good, the bad, the ugly. Have you tried a day of fasting? That was week 2. We're on week 6. Yeah, I'd be willing to bet a lot of you didn't. The ones that did are going, heck yeah, I've made fasting part of my routine because it does wonderful things. If you have, what were your results? Did you journal it? Did you keep a list in a little journal book on your phone, on your pad, somewhere of what it felt like before, during, after, and what did it do for you? And have you followed through? So go back into that. If you need more info on fasting, go back to that week, check it out. This stuff is on there. It's not coming off the site. I'm keeping it up for you so you guys have use of these tools forever. Okay, week 3, eating for balance and to achieve your goals. We talked about calories versus nutrition. All right, that was some serious discussion right there. So what was the deal with calories versus nutrition? I've always had and I love it because they teach them a move at blank systems. They go on that point thing, and people get in this karate stance, and if this thing turned around like this, like it's a big secret, and they go, yeah! Potato chips, 1 point! And I go, oh dear Lord, okay. 1 point, X calories, whatever it is, that is an empty, cardboard, nothing food. You may as well not eat it for 1 point. Avocado, on the other hand, they're like, 25 points, that would replace a whole meal. Now, I may be paraphrasing points here. Whole meal, don't eat avocado. Nutrition, avocado, nutrient dense. This other thing, the avocado flings it off the scale. The pseudo chips that are 1 point, and the avocado would take up half your day or all your day's points. The avocado is a nutrition bomb, where the other thing is a nothing. Absolute garbage for your system. So calories versus nutrition, your nutrition's got to come first. Counting what your quality per calorie. If you're going to consume an avocado, which has 5 times as many calories as some diet food that's cardboard garbage, adjust your intake of the rest of the things to make up for that nutrient dense thing. Eat the stuff that is most nutritious. Does that mean that you're going to consume some more calories sometimes? Probably. Keeping your calories at a reasonable level. 1,200 calories is not reasonable. It's turning, if you had a gas stove that's turning it on low and wondering why the water won't boil, and you won't burn fat because your body's in starvation mode. So nutrition, coupled with a reasonable caloric intake. You don't want to be pulling in 6, 7, 8,000 calories a day unless you're a total athlete and you're totally training and muscle building, etc. That's not going to be productive if you're in the weight loss category. But don't be trying to say, I'm on an 800 calorie diet and it's working really well for about 5 days and then I'm gaining weight again. It's what's going to happen. You can't turn your metabolism down like that. All right, so the other thing is, when do you eat? You eat regularly during the day, smaller meals. You can't gorge. You can't sit there and go, oh, I just ate so much, and you flop on the couch after dinner. Dinner should be one of your lighter meals. A sensible, healthy breakfast, a snack in between. Lunch could be your largest meal of the day, and by all means, I'm not saying it to be a large meal. Another snack, dinner sensibly light, and maybe a slight snack later than that. But don't eat so much that you feel like you want to go to sleep afterwards. In this day and age, I wish I could tell you don't eat later in the evening. I don't know if I can say that to most people and have you agree and say, oh yeah, I'm home at 5:30, like, the Beavers and the Cleavers or whoever they were in, the old 50s show, and mom's got dinner on the table at 5:30, and it's probably not happening. God bless you if that's the case, but I'd say a good portion of the people watching are going, some nights I don't get home till 9. Have that little bit of a nice blended shake or a juice or something like that. And when I say juice, I'm talking something you juiced yourself, not something you bought at the store. A little handful of almonds, as long as you have no issue with them. A fresh tiny little vegetable salad with a healthy oil. To go home and pig out and eat a steak sub, that doesn't make sense either, because you're going to go to bed on that and it's going to basically rot in your system. So carrying on, I know this is a really fun session, isn't it? I'm really hitting you hard, because if you're not already going, got it, man, I feel great because of the changes I've made from week 3, you need to go listen to it again. You need to hear it again and again, and you're going to hear it until you start practicing it. The old story of the preacher. His congregation was getting a little nervous. For 4 weeks in a row, he got up and gave the same sermon. And they always started with the, Pastor, you might be losing it. He's saying the same thing he said last week, and the same thing he said the week before. So one of the elders of the church pulls him aside. I love this story. And says, Pastor, are you aware that all of what you've said is the same story 4 weeks in a row. And the guy's kind of uneasy because, he respects his pastor, and pastor looks at him and goes, well, yeah, and I'll continue to give the same sermon until you guys start practicing it. I'm very well aware, but thank you for noticing. He said, because I wish more people had noticed. And there it is. You can hear it, you can agree with it, you can talk shit. Well, let's get shit done. Do it. There's no excuses, guys. I love you from the bottom of my heart. You know I want the best for you. I'm not sitting here picking on you and jabbing at you and, playing and poking and telling you get off your ass and do something about it for myself. I'm doing it for you. I want to see you succeed. And I'm seeing some great successes, locally here with the people we work with and some that we work with long distance. And then I see people treading water. And, I don't like or dislike anybody more or less because of what they're doing. But the reality is it's up to you. I can talk it till I'm blue in the face. I can walk it for you. You got to walk it with me. So, whole versus blended versus juiced. When it comes to your foods, your vegetables, which is best? Well, whole food, the downside is it's, when I say whole food, like take a piece of broccoli, for instance. Whole food, it is in its most natural state. It's not blended or juiced. You eat it, crunch, 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 unless you're chewing really well. It's not totally digested. The downside is you, by the time it gets through your digestive system, a lot of it comes right through because your digestion can't dissolve that totally, and especially chewing enough has a lot to do with that, but most people, including myself, probably don't chew nearly enough. But the good side is the whole food has the fiber that keeps your body flowing. So there's some goodness to eating the food in its whole state. So there's a positive and negative there. Blend it. Smoothies, shakes, blended soups, whatever. Positive there is more digestible because it's already kind of broken down before going into your system. Quicker, easier. Go, drink, go. Easy for the system to assimilate. Still maintaining some of that fiber in an easier way to get it through the system. So there's a lot of wins to blending and smoothies, unless you're dumping sugar and bases and ice cream and crap like that in it. Going to Smoothie King on the corner is not going to do it. I'm going to give a shout out to our Clean Juice locally here, and I know they're in other places in the country because they use totally organic, no fillers in their smoothies, and they're delicious, absolutely delicious. So on that note, blending is a really good option, right? A little better than whole food on food absorption. You're still getting your fiber in there, so it kind of does trump whole foods. It's, in that condition. Now, some foods are good to still eat whole. You get a little better fiber content. Gives you a little more satisfaction if you like crunch, etc. So you need them both. I'm not going to say one's better than the other, but the blending definitely in the overall usage and delivery of nutrient to your body is better. And what about juicing? All the pulp comes out the back side of the juicer like a big old turd. So there goes your fiber. So yeah, you're losing some fiber there in juicing. Okay, so what are we gaining over blending? What we are gaining is this is the fastest way to shoot nutrients into the body. There is very little effort to digest that, disseminate the nutrients, and get it to the body. Very quick delivery system. So it's very high efficiency delivery of the nutrients. You do lose some of the fiber side to that, and some of the full feeling. Now, one of the good things about that is sometimes you don't want a full feeling. You want to drink and go, especially in the hot weather, or, if you got to get up and talk, you don't want to be and, feeling like you got a lump in your belly. So juicing is excellent for nutrient delivery. A little loss on the side of not getting your fiber. Blending, you got a good blend of whole and juicing. because it's a little more bioavailable on the nutrients than whole foods, but definitely less than juicing. Those nutrients when you're juicing are fast absorption. And then eating the food whole, great for the fiber, fair for nutrient absorption. So which one is best? All three. You need all three. You cannot live on liquids alone. I mean, you could, if you did the right blends, etc. You could. Not what I would recommend from a fiber side. And also the side of social conditioning. We like crunch. At least most people do. We like stuff, eating can be a very social situation, but you can still eat really well in a social situation. So blending, fast on the go, juicing, bam, instant nutrient. So use all three in combination and, find out when you need to use which. Shakes and blends tend to make excellent snacks or meal replacements at times because it's fast, efficient, and it'll keep you going. And using your fat energies. Make sure you're getting your healthy fats. One little shortcut I'm going to remind you of with greens, and like vitamin K and several other nutrients in the greens, like your spinach, kale, etc. They are fat-soluble vitamins and minerals. They need to ride in on a fat. This old fad of the fat-free dressing and no fat, or people that tell me, oh, I eat a salad and I just sprinkle lemon on it, you're knocking down the nutrient absorption seriously. Plus the healthy fats are good for you anyway. But so don't forget about that. All right, let's move into week 4 because I know you guys are probably going, okay, I'm done hearing your voice, Coach Lew. Let's get down to it. Let's do this. All right, week 4, true fitness, cardio versus strength. Which one do you need? At what ages? What stages of life? Both. All. Everything. You need the cardio. You need the strength. You need the endurance. Different ratios. And I'm going to say at different stages of life because age itself does not determine stage of life. I know 60-year-olds that can dance circles around 20-year-olds in the gym. I know 60-year-olds that can't move out of a chair. I know 30-year-olds that can't move out of a chair barely and barely can get through the day. So stages of life, stages of fitness are going to affect what you do, but you need both. You need to elevate that heart rate, to burn fat, to build the endurance in your cardiac and pulmonary system to keep that healthy, but you're also got to keep this healthy. You need the muscles to support the skeletal system, and the skeletal system supports the muscles, because otherwise you end up with pain, smushed discs, this, that, all the myriad of health issues people talk about. Now, am I saying if you work out you're never going to have a disc issue or never have a knee issue? I can't guarantee that. What I can tell you that I have seen time and time again as a trainer, people come into me with joint issues, and in working with their doctors and knowing their limitations, etc., we have strengthened the muscle and the tissue around the joints, which relieves some, or in a few cases, all of the joint pain, because some of it was coming that they were carrying an extra 100 pounds on their body and had no supportive muscle tissue around the joints. And yes, some things, some cartilage issues, tendon issues, those are going to be injuries that you can't just magically cure with exercise. But if you support that area and you support the healing and you strengthen up its support system, you're by all means going to be ahead of the game in most cases. These are basic rules. If you're just laying there and you're not using your muscles and you're not strengthening them, you're either building or losing. There is no static. Even if you say, well, I got in really good shape and I didn't work out for a week and I really didn't notice a huge difference, you still went backwards, but maybe you're in such good shape that you didn't really notice it. Or you go your first month into a fitness program and you're going, wow, I'm really rocking. Holy crap, have I changed so fast? And then the next month you go, well, that's not happening as quickly. There's adaptations, guys. So, the overall picture here is to set the stage for you to develop a fitness-friendly lifestyle. You want it to be a part of your everyday life, that your body is getting stronger, healthier, you're supporting your cardiovascular system, you're supporting your brain health, etc. Match your goals with your lifestyle. If somebody's a football player, they may not want to come in and do only flexibility exercise, become more flexible. Now, they still need some flexibility exercise, but maybe 90% of what they need to focus on is burst strength, brute strength, and sprinting, the ability to move quickly, as opposed to somebody who is a ballerina, still needs strength, but needs extreme amounts of flexibility, because you you can't pull one of the kids out of the high school or the college football team and throw them in a ballerina class and probably expect them to be putting one leg straight up above their head, etc., because that's not what they're conditioned for. So matching your goals with your lifestyle. Am I saying that the football player doesn't need stretching and the ballerina doesn't need strength? Oh, hell no, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is there's a different focus on the types of strengths and the types of flexibility that each of them would have. So matching your goals and what you do with your lifestyle. Now, you may say, I'm not a football player, I'm not a ballerina, I'm a mom, I'm a dad who works in an office. What do I need? General conditioning. You need some flexibility, you need some energy, something to boost your energy, and general strength training. You would need kind of a 30-30-30 type of environment where the ballerina might need an 80% flexibility, 20% strength training. And I'm pulling some of those, from the air, because it just depends on each individual strength levels and flexibility levels at the time they're starting. What I'm saying is match your goals with your lifestyle. If you want to be able to be the strongest man and pull a bus, you're probably not going to be long distance running to accomplish that. You are going to be doing short bursts. You're tied to a sled full of lead. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm going. And there's so much to it, guys. So just bear with me on this, because we're going to delve into these things individually even deeper and deeper as time goes on. Because I know there's questions and you're going, hey, these talks, Lew, get me going, but where do we go from here? That's where coaching fits in, number one. I take you anywhere you want to go. But number two, that's where the continuation of H1 and Monday Motivation and everything fits in, because we're going to dig into these little micro biomes of what we're doing here. Okay? So, enjoying longevity. This is a huge part of fitness. Let's face it, and please don't take offense by this. At 70, do you want to be somebody who's walking down the boardwalk of Monte Carlo with your spouse going, wow, and people are looking at you going, wow, look at that couple, man. They still got it. You can tell they're going back to the hotel room for some boom, boom. And, not being sarcastic here, but you know what I mean. They've got that glow, that energy at 70, 80, sometimes 90 years old. People are still up and moving and traveling and, or working, whatever they want to do, farming, taking care of the house, building, all kinds of cool stuff. And then sometimes you got somebody at 50, and please don't take offense if you're, immobilized because of something outside of your control. My heart goes out there, but I don't want to be the person going zzz, 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 with a little handle sitting in a chair to move around to get from point A to point B. And again, if you are a person who's been injured or there's something that has caused that beyond your control, please, that is, not what I'm trying. I'm not trying to come across offensive with that or say that's your fault if you were in an accident or something. What I am saying is the folks that are listening to me that are headed for the bzz, 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 because they won't stop shoveling cupcakes down their throat, and they won't get up and walk off the couch, and they're capable of doing that. Now, I know people who are, stuck to a chair because of an injury or something, and they drive themselves, they get around, they built upper body strength, they do jobs, they exercise all they can. Maybe they've lost, use of legs or something, and that's something that, didn't happen from, it's not their fault. They didn't eat too many cupcakes, and, that's what got an injury. But I've met people like that you would go, okay, well, if, they'd have every reason to not do anything, and they work harder than somebody who's got full use of all their body parts and choose to let them deteriorate. That's where I'm going with this. So when I make the zzz about moving around, electronically, I'm not referring to anybody who's in that situation outside of, making poor dietary and health choices. Now, if the poor dietary and health choices have gotten you in that situation, there's a good chance you can still get out of that situation. Because there's people that have been put in that situation involuntarily and gotten out of those type, and gotten the best out of life. So there's always a way forward is where I'm going with this. But, right now you're going to choose where you're going to be. And you might say, hey, I'm only 20. Who cares about when I'm 70? Well, let me tell you something. When you're 69, you're going to really care about where you are at 70. So take it from somebody who's in between all that. I look and go, wow, choices I make today and have made in the past 10 years have really affected what I'm capable of today. Capable of the energy I have. I'm capable of running in the woods. I'm capable of doing these OCRs when people 10 years my younger are going, oh, hell no, I'm not doing something like that. I could never do something like that. How do you do that? So I'm not picking on them. If you wanted to, you could. 10 people, 10, 15, 20 years older than me are running these mofo races and stuff and doing this crazy stuff. And I want to be that person, 10, 20 years from now. But what I'm saying is when it's something you can control, do it. Control it. Take control. It's worth it. Shoveling a big sugary cupcake in your face as opposed to eating something healthy might feel good for the moment, but it's going to carry repercussions. And then people go, well, I had a grandmother that lived to be 100, and she smoked and drank whiskey and ate fatty fried foods and this, that, and the other. And, there's George Burns, too. Okay, there's two people, but like 2 out of millions. But most people do that stuff that George Burns and the quote-unquote grandmother with the bottle of whiskey and the hamburger and the cigarettes are very much the exceptions. The people that have quality and longevity in this world, other than getting run over by a bus or something tragic or something genetic that we can't control, which is very small percentage, you're setting the stage for how you're going to age. Huh, hey, I like that. We just created a new one. You're setting the stage for how we age. Let me know how that came across, by the way. So, yes, I'm very real, guys. I BS around, I play around, because I want you to know, if you know me personally, and a lot of you do, I like to be playful, because I want to get the point across. I want to have some fun with it, so you come back and visit with me again. If I'm too much of a pain in the ass and I'm drab and boring, you're not going to want to listen to me. You're not going to hear it. You're not going to go, you know what? Hey, Coach does have energy. This stuff is real. I know the guy. He's not BSing around. He's not, doing the infomercial and then rolling out of the chair going, oh my God, I can't move. I'm so tired. I got no energy. Or, I had to drink a gallon of coffee to do this. No, this energy's from lifestyle. And do I get tired? Do I catch a cold once in a while? Yeah. But as opposed to when I was a child, I'd catch a cold, I'd be down for a week. Now, less than 24 hours, bam, gone, and back on track again. Sometimes don't miss a beat. But anyway, I know you don't want to hear any more about me right now. Testing and monitoring. Make sure, hey, this is my wireless mouse, by the way. Yeah, let me put that down. Testing and monitoring. Know your numbers, your blood numbers, your body composition numbers. If you're local, get your butt in with us here and do a body comp test. We can test for body fat, bone density, muscle, hydration levels, all kinds of cool stuff, because sometimes you don't see as much change on the plain old scale, or it goes up a little bit, when actually your body muscle might have gone way up and your body fat might have dropped dramatically, but you may have gained a pound after all this hard work. And this is what's important, and knowing, your cholesterol, your liver enzymes, all these things before you start your workout. If you're brand new to this, get all this blood work done before, and get it done a month or 6 months into it, and check it out and look and go, oh, wow, noticeable differences. And if there's not, there's still something missing. But, test and monitor all the time. Know where you're at, where you're going. Week 5, we went into stress management. Why and how? Why do you need stress management? Because stress can be one of the biggest killers, and the CDC and everybody else has done all kinds of studies that stress is harmful to the body. We also learned that stress and excitement are parallel physiologically in the body, and this is where psychology plays so deep into this. Parallel, very little difference of what hormones are fired off when you're stressed and when you're excited. The difference is the stress has a negative weighing connotation, the excitement has a positive pull. Remember, push, pull? Yep. Pain, pleasure. You notice a lot of stuff follow a lot of similar patterns. So there we have it. Stress management, and stress prevention, and stress relief. All right, stress management, I'm going to say stress management, stress prevention are very similar because you are preventing or reducing the stress. The stress relief is yes, we're still going to have stress, but we do something to offset it. A massage, meditation, sex, swimming in the ocean, go out for a bike ride or a kayak, or sit on the beach, or listen to your favorite music. Whatever it is that removes the negative effects of stress, that's stress relief. Stress management is, I would love to tell you eliminating, but if you eliminate stress, you have no life. Reducing the actual amount of stressors. The stress relief is relieving the effects of the stress. So those are two very important terms to walk away with this. So sleep management, how much do you need? Remember, we said 8 hours. That quote-unquote magic number is actually very inaccurate because we go in a 90 to a 110 minute sleep cycle. And if you wake up short of the REM 90, you're going to be disoriented. That's a very deep, formless sleep, which you're going to wake up like all discombobulated and feeling like you hadn't rested. Have you ever slept 8 hours and felt like crap? Slept 6 hours and felt like you're ready to take on the world? Well, divide that 6 by the 90 minutes and you'll see why, because it comes out to 4 complete sleep cycles. So you'd be better off, or 7.5 hours, you'd be better off getting 7.5 hours than 8 hours if you need more sleep. I love the 6 hour routine because that just seems to work for me. I used to tell you I could get by on 4 hours, which was totally inaccurate again, and I did it for years because it was the wrong sleep cycle and not enough restorative sleep. There's a point where you need some restoration in the body. No matter how well, all these years I've tried to tell people I'm Superman and I don't need to sleep and blah, 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 and all the bullshit we give ourselves and everybody else. But the 6 hour mark really works well for me. But the key to it is that 90 to 110. So to give you a prime example, in the mornings I got to get up at 4:30. If I wake up, and actually I get up at 4:29, and Lexi knows why that is, because that's a birthday. That's my daughter's birthday. So I set the alarm for 4:29. It's just that psychological cool meaning. It wakes me up and makes me remember, think of something very precious that I'm grateful for. All right, I'm digressing there, diversing, whatever. So if I wake up at 3 to pee, which kind of rhymes, I'm like, oh yeah, cool, perfect. I'm gonna I'm gonna lay back down. I'm gonna get back up in a good sleep cycle. If I wake up at 4:10, I'm getting up. If I wake up naturally at 4:10, I'm not going to lay there for 20 minutes or hit the snooze button or something when it does go off at 4:29 to get that extra few minutes, because you're ready to restart that sleep cycle, which will really be rough to get out of. So we also talked about hydration. Make sure you're drinking a good alkaline water, guys, and not one of those overly expensive machines. There's nowhere on here I'm going to sell you one of those because it's still tap water that's you're ionizing. Just get a good quality. We really like the 10 water. Essentia's really good. There's some really good ones out there. But make sure you're ingesting the alkaline to keep your body clean, because everything is so acidic that we're dealing with. So sleep hygiene is very important. And you might say, what's sleep hygiene? Clean sheets? Maybe. You most certainly don't want to get in a bed that's uncomfortable, itchy, scratchy. If there's something to invest in, if you're going to spend a couple extra bucks, nice set of sheets is good. Keeping it cooler in the bedroom, because as you hit that final stages of the REM sleep, your body warms up. That wakes you up. Let's face it, if the room is warm and it's warming your body, that's going to keep your body from going into the deepest restorative sleep. See? So keeping it at a temperature that is good, but keeping it cooler end of the temperature you're comfortable with. So we good? Bam, here we are, week 6, live it, baby. All right, so this is when we put it all together into a lifestyle. It's achievable, sustainable, and fun. What's next? We got all these pieces of it, and a lot of them you're starting to go, damn, this sounds like I got to put some work into this. Yes, some of it's work. You exercise, you're going to put some effort in. You're going to put effort into planning everything. You're going to put effort into actually preparing your meals, which is a lot easier because a lot of what we talk about is uncooked and salads, and how much easier to get than throwing a bunch of stuff in a bowl and putting some oil and some healthy organic balsamic on it and a little bit of sea salt and any other kind of organic spice you want and going they're not really that hard. You're not slaving over a pot of sauce all day. By the way, God, Grandma Marie's sauce was amazing. Oh, yeah. So if you're going to zag out, an occasional spaghetti, but spaghetti's loaded with those tomato lectins, so that's where the problem is, and the wheat for the pasta and stuff like that. So, but whole point to it is, it's easier to make a salad than it is to cook all day long, or to prepare these big meals. Do you do it once in a while? Yeah, you gotta zag and have a little fun. But if you're gonna zag out and eat something like spaghetti, eat half of what you used to as a portion. If you're going to do it on Sunday, and, God rest some of our relatives here, that could really cook, and it was really yummy. I miss some of those Sunday dinners, going to Graham's, or going to Grandma Marie's, or Grandma Annie's, and having sauce, or having, Grandma Ann's burgers. Oh, my God. They were to die for, literally. If I continued eating them, I'd probably be dead. But they were delicious. But that's the kind of thing you do once in a while. But you learn to love and like some of the foods that are really good for you. And after a while, you don't want the other stuff, because when you do eat it, you feel like shit. And you're like, oh my God, I've ruined myself. Now I have a hamburger and I don't feel good. No, you just didn't know the difference before. That is the reality. It's not that your body has changed so much that, oh my God, I'm going to get sick if I eat normal. It's that you never felt that great in the first place and didn't know any better the way you were eating. Now when you're eating clean and you're feeling all energetic and you guzzle down that hamburger or that huge cupcake. Jen and I were talking yesterday. We had a cupcake after dinner from Fresh Market. And first thing out of her mouth when she got done with it, God, I could have really done with half of that. And I'm like, God, I could have really done with half of mine. Saturday, we zagged out a little bit. It's been a long week. We should have just split the stupid thing. It would have only been half as bad. We would have felt twice as good. It makes sense. When you're gonna zag or you're gonna do something that's not productive for your body's energy, cut it in half, cut it in a quarter. Go yum yum go. It's a lot of times people say to me, oh, I don't want to give up my beer in the process of this. Well, what's more important, your health, your energy, your fitness goals, or your bottle of beer? Let's face it. What's more important? And then they go, well, I don't want to never have a beer again. And I'm like, well, guess what? I don't want to never have a beer again or a glass of wine. What I don't want is a 12-pack of beer or a bottle of wine every Saturday and Sunday and Thursday and probably Friday night like some people do. That is not going to get you to your goals. I don't care who you are. You can tell me, I'm a seasoned drinker, I'm a this, I'm a that. Alcohol is going to slow your progress. If you're looking to lose weight, gain muscle, train for anything, alcohol will slow your progress. The more you drink of it, the less progress you're going to see. Will one drink kick you off track a little bit? Yeah. Will a 12-pack really kick you off track of it? Even if you work hard all week, play hard on the weekend, you're still going to set yourself back. So what do you really want? I mean, like I say, once in a while we go to the beach, I'll have a beer as long as we're staying and it's at, walking distance from the hotel. Don't ever drive. That's just stupid. Anybody who guzzles down liquor these days and gets behind the wheel, I'll call it like it is. You're stupid. You got every Uber and Schmoober and, every Dan, Tom, and Jerry is a taxi these days. If they got a phone in the car, there's somebody around the corner that'll drive you home. So I have great contempt for that, because even after a couple, you're impaired, you could take somebody's life, and that ain't worth it. Let's face it, if you want to live with that just to have a couple drinks and prove you can drive, But what I'm saying, and I know I'm digressing there, what I'm saying is simply, if you do it very rarely, And the one thing you can't really do is just have occasional cigarettes or cut down. If you're smoking, get in here for a smoking therapy. Guys, that is the worst thing you could do to your body. There's no upside to that, absolutely at all. Everything almost else has an upside. Sometimes people say, well, I have a glass of red wine. There's certain polyphenols that are in there that are good, but you get those from beet juice with no negatives from the alcohol if that's what you're after. But I'm just saying, there's usually something good to most everything. Cigarettes is no good to. So if you're doing them, let's figure it out real fast. All right, so now I've been smacking you upside the head and preaching to you about this stuff. The reality is, I want to congratulate you. If you're watching this and you've done all 5 weeks before this, you've made it through a journey. Maybe you implemented some of it, maybe you implemented all of it, maybe you missed a few pieces, maybe you haven't started. But the key to it is, no matter where you're at, if you implemented it all and you're making great changes and strides, kudos, rock and roll. Love you, you're doing great. If you took bits and pieces here and you're doing a little bit better and you're getting a little excited, kudos, get back in and really get on track, because you'll really do better. But you're taking action, you're learning, you're growing. If you've been listening and you go, wow, this stuff sounds good, or coach is crazy, or oh, he's weird, or he eats weird, try this stuff. Try it for 30 days, each one of the things we talk about, tailoring it to you, like we use the example of the almonds all the time. I think almond replaces a lot of cool things, especially almond flour. But if you're allergic to it, no way. Maybe coconut flour works for you or something else. But, within reason. But try some of this stuff. And try something for 30 days. Try fasting once a week for 30 days and see if it doesn't change a massive part of your life. Try switching to an alkaline water instead of the cheapest ghetto water you can buy in the store. And, spend the extra $2 on a case of water and get a good alkaline water. Drink it for a month and make that the only thing you drink for a month. And don't, zag off of that and drink sodas and everything else. Make that change. Maybe you're drinking soda right now. Go to alkaline water only for a month as far as your liquid intake. And see after a month, hey, do I feel better? Or, some things in my body working better? And if you're drinking anything with those food colorings, especially the red and yellow dyes, and you're a guy, after a month of not drinking that, there is stuff that you're going to notice works better. Just saying. That goes without saying. If you're drinking that food coloring garbage, Gatorade, stuff like that, and some of those other drinks that are loaded with these food colorings, you're doing damage to stuff you don't want to damage. So, step up, do this. So wherever you did, if you did and you're doing it and you're going, hey, you know what, I want the next level, go through it again. And by the way, next week and next week and next week, we're going to keep on with these shows and these trainings, and we're going to delve into stuff, and we're going to do a lot of cool stuff, and there's some major cool stuff on the horizon. If you kind of dabbled and it's kind of working for you, dig your heels in and make it really work for you. And if you haven't stepped in and done any of it and you've done nothing but listen and say someday, make today the day. Commit to 30 days, step up, run yourself through this program. And you don't know every little detail, and we're going to teach a lot more on that. And everybody's different, and it's not like, you're going to be like, oh, I've been totally perfect. But if you use 80% or 90% of what we've talked about here, you're going to see a noticeable difference. And I can't tell you how worth it is. being 50 pounds lighter than I was at one point, having this energy level that I had more than I did maybe 15, 17 years ago when I started this journey. Wow. You could not, would it be nice to go back 17 years, know what I know today, But as far as the way I felt physically, I would not trade the way I felt 17 years ago to how I feel today. I might have a little bit more lines. I might have a couple grays more popping through, although thanks to Dad, and that is a genetic, I had grays back, all the way in my 20s and stuff. A few of them were popping out. Who cares? That's one of those things where I could sit there and say, oh my God. It's like, well, there's nothing I'm really doing lifestyle-wise that's going to create that. Now, keeping your hormones, and your body healthy is going to, keep stronger hormones, but some things are genetics. My point to this is we're on an exciting journey here, whether you did it fully, whether you did it slightly, or, really put a decent effort in, whether you kind of half-assed it but did something, or no-assed it and did nothing, take it to the next level. If you no-assed it, it's easy, because now you can just do something and get moving. If you half-assed it, it's pretty easy, because now you can say, well, I did a couple things good, let me model that. If you did pretty good, take it up to excellent. And if you did really good, take it to outstanding. And that's where all the juice and all the energy comes in, guys. So you've spent a lot of time with me. I really appreciate you guys. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm excited because we're going into the next level. Live with energy, passion. Always live your dreams. Don't ever let go of your dreams. This is Coach Lew. I'm going to sign off for now. Hope to see you on the live and see you each and every week. Connect with me, because I've got some cool other show ideas coming up, and I would love to take some interactive questions. Please post questions, send me questions, and if there's topics we really need to get into, I don't mind doing a show that's dedicated to it if we got enough interest where it's of value. If you have some specific questions and I can build a show around it, let's do it. Live with energy, passion, always live your dreams. Coach Lew signing off. Lots of love, guys. Have a great day.